Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike, the second stream of the day. And today is all about World Liberty Financial. We're going to be talking about the token. We're going to be talking about the World Liberty Forum that went on this week. That's the reason we're doing this show on Friday, to talk about that. We are also going to go through the competition that's running on Binance with USD1 and WLFI token. We're going to go through that as well, and we're going to talk about what Eric Trump has had to say. We're going to have a look at the tokenomics. We're going to have a look at the token itself. All of that, hopefully, within an hour. Now, throughout the stream, I am going to be dropping WLFI tokens in chat on Binance Square. So if you're in there now, you will see that I have dropped a box. I will pop in here again and say hello. And what I'm going to do now, very temporarily, is I'm going to log out of that stream so it doesn't take up too much of my bandwidth. And then we're going to go through World Liberty Financial. And as you can see here, on the right-hand side of your screen, we've got a menu of what we're going to go through. We're going to have a quick look at the charts. Then we're going to go through the World Liberty Finance website that's on your screen, the token USD1, Eric, the hotel tokens, the fund tokens, the banking applications that World Liberty Financial are applying for, and then we're going to have a look at the chart. All of that in an hour. Now, this is the question of the day. If you can ask me a question that I like, that I read back out on the stream, I will be giving you WLFI tokens. So you need to ask me a good question in chat, and I will pick one winner and I will give them some tokens. That is pretty much it. So get thinking about some questions to ask. Ask them in chat. Every time I kind of switch over to Binance Square, I'm going to go and read the chat questions, see if there's any good ones. And if there is, I'm going to pick one to read out. So, first of all, before we get into having a look at this, I do want to go and very quickly have a look at the charts. Especially as Bitcoin was up at 68,000 this morning when we did our first stream. It's now back down to 67,250. It's still hanging around that area. Ethereum is, I'd like to say it's going to go back over $2,000 over the weekend. I don't know. But further down here, we have the USD coming in at 5 billion. USD1 is coming in at 5 billion. And then further down, we've got the World Liberty Financial token coming in at just over 11.5 cents. That is pretty much up 15% over the week, coming in at 3.1 billion. So, not been too bad a week for World Liberty Financial. Now, who are they and what are they and what do they do? Well, we did this, or we did a lot of this on the last stream that we did about a week ago. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this because we've already covered it. But basically, the team, let's start with the team first of all, which is down here. So, first of all, this is the team of individuals that are behind the company. You've got some members of the Trump family, Eric, Donald Trump Jr., Donald Trump, Barron Trump, and then you've got the other kind of co-founders along there. You've got Zach, you've got Chase, you've got Stephen Witkoff. Stephen Witkoff did a few fireside chats on stage at World Liberty Forum this week as well. Zach Folkman's been heavily involved with Binance and getting the kind of promotions running over there as well. So it's a real team effort from the team. And their objective is to be the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. So bringing traditional finance and retail into the age of the blockchain. And how they're going to do that is in three different ways. They are going to create a US dollar stablecoin that we're going to talk about. That's USD1, which you're currently probably holding over on Binance. They're going to make capital more accessible. So, loans by third-party providers for institutions and everyday users that are fast, fair, and frictionless. Again, we've covered this before. This is basically large institutions that may hold Bitcoin, want to basically tap into the liquidity behind that and borrow USD1 against it. So that's pillar number 2. And pillar number 3 is to bridge the Web 2, Web 3 gap. Basically simplify DeFi to basically get people who might not use any financial instruments, might not know how crypto works. World Liberty Financial are going to do it in a way where you don't really need to know how crypto works. The same way that you don't need to know how the internet works to go on Instagram. You don't need to know how cable works nowadays to switch between Sky Sports and BBC News. It just works. And I think that's the goal of World Liberty Financial. And most importantly, this company really is less than 2 years old. They started probably, I think, in about June 2024. So they're a really new company. So to see World Liberty Financial token at 3 billion, to see the stablecoin at 5 billion, it's pretty impressive growth over that period of time. But what I want to talk about a little bit more is, rather than looking at just simply the company, look at the tokens behind it. And the reason is that World Liberty Financial coin is a token that has, at this very moment in time, only a few kind of elements of utility. But, and this is the big but, it is powered by the buybacks from USD1. And when we talk about USD1 in a minute, I'll explain a little bit more about how they generate the revenue from that. But World Liberty Financial token, there is a buyback mechanism in place. So every single month, a large chunk of WLFI tokens are bought back off the market. Now, I've seen some commentators who are going to remain nameless, and what they've said about it will also remain nameless on here. Suffice to say, they haven't done their research on the project like I have. I have been talking about World Liberty Financial since about September last year, October last year. And I've said time and time again, my 3 alts that are going to go into my alt bag are Asta, Pump, and WLFI. They are my 3 kind of picks. Asta for obvious ties with CZ, World Liberty Financial because of the team behind it and the tokenomics behind it, and then Pump because it is a revenue generating business. So we've been talking about this for over 4 months. We said that we wanted to buy World Liberty Financial, and we were only going to buy it at less than 11 cents. We've done that quite successfully over the last 3 or 4 months, and we now hold a big bag. And again, we're going to keep accumulating this probably over the next 8 months. If the bear market ends in October, as I have predicted, and Bitcoin does go down to about $55,000, then I have got the price range for you to buy WLFI between now and the end of the year. So I'm not talking about it going straight up from here. I'm not talking about Bitcoin going to $150,000 by June. I'm talking about the cycle. And the cycle is you have between now and maybe October, maybe September, to accumulate in this zone. Maybe at 9 cents, maybe at 10 cents, maybe at 12 cents. This is the zone to accumulate in. So the token's main piece of utility right now is governance. And again, governance can work and it can't work depending on who you're with. For example, it works really well with Jupiter on their DAO. It works really well when you go and have a look at Aave as well. Works really well over there. And World Liberty Financial has got the same thing with their token. There's 3 steps. You make a proposal, it gets reviewed, and there is a vote on it. Very, very simple. Now, between that and the token buybacks, that's all you can really do with the token. The way I see this is this token reflects the business. That's how it should be looked at. We've got other tokens that we look at. Maple Finance, for example, the syrup token there, exactly the same thing. They have their revenue that they generate, and that's used to buy back syrup token. World Liberty Financial has USD1, which is used to buy back and take the tokens off the market. So they work in very, very similar ways. And I think it's a real-world asset-y type of way of doing things. You get a say in the direction of the business, which is, of course, the voting, and they are using the profits from the business to then buy back the token. And over a very, very long period of time, it will do nothing but drive the price up of these tokens. And if you look at Hype as well, Hype is another one. They have a great buyback scheme in there. I think Astra are going to start it. So this is really maybe, after all these years, these companies have now found a way to actually drive the value of the token. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that. All for that. Now, the thing I want to show you is how is WLFI's token price going to be pushed up? And it's going to be pushed up by the buybacks from the tokens. Now, this is the top list of stablecoins in the world. One glaring observation is, of course, every single token on the screen now is a US dollar denominated token. There isn't really anything until you kind of get down. I mean, I don't even know how far down you are. I mean, you've got Australian dollar down there. I mean, it's pretty much dominated by the dollar. There we go. We've got USD, which is coming in at $450 million. Now, focusing on USD1 for a second, it's the 5th largest stablecoin in the world. It's been around for 18 months. It's got a pretty much $5.1 billion market cap. I think the goal of World Liberty Financial is to become the 3rd biggest stablecoin in the world by the end of the year. They are only $1 billion behind Ethena. Now, again, said this last, just to give you an idea of the fact that different stablecoins are moving at different rates. And what I want to show you is the 1 month change. So again, we've got the very similar table to the one we've just shown you, which is the one that's on CoinMarketCap. This is the one on DeFi Llama. You'll see World Liberty Financial there is 5th, but look at the growth over the last month of this token. If I move it up a little bit, you'll see it's grown 51% in a month. You look at the likes of Sky, that's grown by 5.4%, but then Tether and Circle and even Athena are not starting, but have lost a little bit of ground over the last month. So, do I think that World Liberty Finance will have the 3rd largest stablecoin in the world by probably November, December this year? Absolutely. I think my personal target for their stablecoin is probably around the $10 billion mark. It's gone from it's gone from 1 billion when we were talking about it in, I think, October last year. It's now 5 billion. In 4 months, it's added 4 billion. So add another 4 or 5 billion on for the 10 months left in the year. I think we're looking at a $10 billion stable coin by the end of the year. Now, this is the important part. The buybacks on WLFI are coming from USD1. Now, they come from USD1 because USD1 holds American US debt, which pays interest. So it will pay out maybe, let's say for argument's sake, 5%. I think it's a little bit less. It's like 4 and a bit percent. But 5% is an easy number to work out. So at a $10 billion market cap, this will be generating $500 million a year in revenue. Now, that is absolutely separate to everything we talked about before, using USD1 for loans, using USD1 to onboard retail, using USD1 in DeFi. All of that is separate. The bare bones is, at this moment in time, they're generating around about $250 million a year, $20 million a month. That is being used to power the business and buy back WLFI1. The same way that, for example, Maple is generating its revenue to then buy back its own token. So that is where the buy pressure is coming for this token. Excluding everything else, that's how it's generating its business. So it's a really, really important thing to understand this flywheel. The more successful USD1 is, the more successful WLFI will be. Now, we've shown you that it's had a 50% growth in the last month. If it keeps that up, if it goes from 5 to 10 to 15 billion, you're looking at buying $60 to $70 million a month worth of WLFI. And at the market cap it's at now, that's equivalent to maybe buying about 15%, 20% of the supply in 1 year. So the token price at this moment in time is a lot lower than potentially a lot of people realize it should be. We'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about the price targets that we have for WLFI. Now, one thing I'm going to do before we carry on, I am going to drop a box into the chat on Binance Square. So if you're watching on Binance Square, continue to do so because this is valuable information. But I am now going to drop a WLFI box. Let me just mute that. So good morning to Derek, to Ekash, to Raina, to Yazoo. I need BNB coin. Is it a cryptocurrency? It is. If I invest in this for 5 years, how much will I get later? I can't make any predictions on that, unfortunately. But let me drop a box now. Now, again, one thing we are doing, the boxes that we drop, we are dropping in World Liberty financial tokens. So we're dropping them in the stream. We're going to be dropping them a couple of times. So it's not going to be one and done. We dropped one at the start of the stream. We're 15 or so minutes into the stream. We're going to drop another box. So if you are watching, what do you need to do? Follow Crypto Warehouse. Very important that you follow us. We talk about things like World Liberty Financial and many other things on these streams. There is a box that's dropped. It will be there for the next... Well, it will drop in about 5 minutes. There's 35 people. Make sure to go and claim it. Anyway, back to the action. There we go. So this is just the news I was talking about at the beginning. The USD1 campaign that's running on Binance. As we said on the stream today, 65% of all SEX stablecoins are on Binance. So Binance has 2/3 of all the stablecoins that are on centralized exchanges. Why is that? Because Binance has the most liquidity of any exchange. It has the most users. It has the most volume. Now, Binance have partnered with World Liberty Finance to run this campaign. All you have to do is hold USD1. So if you've got some stables in USDT or USDC, if you convert them to USD1, you can take part in this competition, and it runs from today until the 20th of March. Month 1 ran from the 20th of January, I think, to about the 19th of February or something like that anyway, 15th of February, something around those times. Now, in month 2, there will be 235 million WLFI tokens given out to people. Now, that's about, at this price, what, $23.5 million. So this is not a small campaign. This is a big campaign. As well as that, you can earn yield on your USD1 through Binance. I think it's paying about 8 or 9% now. So you can hold USD1 and get the WLFI tokens. You can earn interest up to 9% on USD1. And the snapshot starts on February the 20th, which is today. And that's the reason we're doing this stream today, because that's when the campaign starts. And again, we don't need to read all of this out. Hold USD1 in Binance Spot, Funding, Margin, and Futures. Go away. We don't need to see. There we go. So basically, you need to hold USD1 in spot, funding, margin, or futures to share the 235 million tokens. So you can't put it in earn and get this. And this runs from the 20th all the way, I believe, until the 20th of March. The first snapshot will be taken on, it'll be taken weekly, but the first distribution will be the 4th of March. So in 2 weeks' time will be the first one. Then the second one, I imagine, is going to happen somewhere near the 20th. Eligible users, you'll be able to hold it in spot, funding, margin accounts. I don't think you can hold it in earn. So you can't double dip. You can't get the 8% on USD1 and this. It's separate. Anyway, so there's 58.75 million WLFI tokens to be given out every week. That's going to run for the next 4 weeks. Make sure you take part in that. It is easy. All you literally have to do is hold a stable coin. That's it. You hold a stable coin, you get some free WLFI tokens. What more could you ask for? Right, just let me check. I am on screen, which I am. Now, this is kind of not specific to World Liberty Financial, but something I wanted to start with. I am going to open up the X account after this, and then we're going to go into the hotel tokenization and the fund tokenization. But I want to basically highlight this first, because one of the important things to understand about Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. is they've become some very trusted individuals in crypto. Now, why no alt season? Why did alt season blow up? Why no meme season? All of these kind of things. The reason is that retail were fed up of rug pulls. They were fed up of losing all of their money, and they never came back. They went away in 2022, 2021. They've never come back. And the reason is we don't have trusted names and trusted faces. Yes, we've got Michael Saylor. Yes, we've got Tom Lee and Cathy Wood and people like that. But they're not household names. They're not names that people in the street know. So when you've got Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. and even Barron Trump, he's been known to do a few interviews, they're trusted individuals. They're like American aristocracy, the Trump family. So they're a trusted group of individuals. He's, of course, the president of America, Donald, the father. But Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., they've been doing a lot of work with regards to AI. They've been doing a lot of work with regards to data centers, Bitcoin mining, and, of course, World Liberty Financial. So it's important to understand that Eric and Donald Trump Jr., they're not just in World Liberty Financial. They're out there actively promoting crypto. And this week, it was only a couple of days ago, Eric Trump says this type of crypto could arguably end up saving the dollar, will bring in literally trillions to the US economy. Oh, no, we don't need any of that. Oh, come